Thanks for joining us for KSAT News at 9, streaming live here in the KSAT 12 newsroom. I'm Courtney Friedman. We begin tonight with the latest numbers here in Bexar County. During tonight's daily briefing, Mayor Ron Nirenberg revealed we now have 1,942 confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 57 deaths. 66 patients are in the hospital tonight, and more than half those infected have now recovered. A day after the announcement that churches in the Archdiocese of San Antonio can reopen next week, local churches have received guidelines that they must now follow. Tiffany Huertas met with a priest from Christ the King Catholic Church that's on the west side, and he showed her how he's adjusting to the changes.
There are so many protocols now. I think this is a new chapter for all of us.
Today, Father Praveen Lekassetti received new guidelines from the Archdiocese of San Antonio about how to safely reopen Mass to the public.
Keeping every precaution in its place to make sure that everybody is safe.
During the pandemic, Christ the King Catholic Church, located on the west side, has been closed. Mass has been live streamed, and the pews are filled with pictures of church members. Father Lekassetti says they have been preparing for their reopening.
Pre-COVID, could easily hold 300 people. We can only accommodate 25% of it, means almost 65 people.
He says they will be constantly cleaning the building and disinfecting the pews after every Mass. They will no longer be using printed material. Instead, they will display songs on projector screens.
Face mask is mandatory for everyone who is entering.
Father Lekassetti says they even created a COVID-19 task force with about 20 people from his church who will be making sure people are staying safe and have all the supplies they need. The mayor of San Antonio says while there's still people who are at higher risk of severe illness from COVID-19,
I hope churches and businesses also advise them that if they are in those categories, it might behoove them not to participate in all the activities. Keep doing live streams for those folks who may not be able to come to the services.
Father Lekassetti says they will continue to live stream.
I'm going to continue this because not right away all people can come back, especially with some elderly people, who have some health issues. They cannot come back and get exposed.
For the 9, Tiffany Huertas.
It is also worth repeating, if you feel sick or are experiencing any symptoms of COVID-19, you should stay home. Well, we've seen a hold on evictions in the midst of the pandemic, but as we enter property tax season, Governor Greg Abbott says he will not freeze property appraisals this year. David Bassioli says he's faced with a big bill. County appraisal records show the market value for his property increased by nearly $30,000. City and county leaders sent a letter to Governor Greg Abbott asking for a hold on appraisals nearly 2 months ago, but didn't get a response. Today, KSAT asked the governor directly about what was on the homeowner's mind.
We are not going to make any type of state law modifying what a person's home value is worth. Instead, what is required is the local taxing entities are going to be required to have best practices to reduce the property tax rate so that it will not be punishing to these property owners.
Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolf says he's very disappointed in the governor's reaction. Bassioli says he plans to appeal his appraisal. Property tax protests are expected to be high this year, leading to concerns about how these appeals can be properly heard while potentially keeping hundreds of people a day socially distant from each other. Now let's turn to the 9 at 9. A man is in critical condition after a shooting at an East Side bus stop. A 5-year-old shoots and kills his brother after finding a gun in the bushes and body bags laid out in front of the governor's mansion. Here's tonight's 9 at 9. Autopsy results have been released for Ahmaud Arbery, the man who was fatally shot by 2 men while jogging in Georgia. The autopsy shows Arbery was shot 3 times, including twice in the chest. Greg McMichael and his son Travis were arrested and faced charges of felony murder and aggravated assault. According to police, the elder McMichael said he thought Arbery looked like a suspect in a series of recent break-ins. A shooting at a Southeast Side bus stop landed a man in the hospital. It happened on East-South Cross near Pecan Grove Boulevard. San Antonio police say the suspect was waiting for a bus but was refused service because he wasn't wearing a mask. Police say a passenger confronted that suspect as he was getting off the bus, which led to him being shot in the torso. The victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition and the shooter was arrested. Arson's investigating a fire at 2 Southside businesses. It happened at a car repair shop and window tint business near I-35 in West Mayfield. Firefighters managed to put the flames out quickly, but not before the roof collapsed and the outside of the building was heavily damaged. Smoke from the fire also caused damage to at least one car and some tools. Georgia police say a 12-year-old boy is dead after his 5-year-old brother found a gun in the bushes and shot him. Earlier the same day, police had stopped a car in the area when 3 passengers ran into the bushes and disappeared. Police found a bag of drugs they believe the men had tossed, but officers did not find any weapons.
The little one found the gun. It had to be right here, right? Because they said throw it up in the bushes. Well, you see the bushes just cover this little area here. So somewhere in these bushes, he walked around and found a gun and turns around and thinks he's playing and says bang bang, and it was loaded and killed her.
The true number of deaths in New York City related to COVID-19 may be much higher than the official count shows. That's according to a report released by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. New York City reported roughly 24,000 more deaths since mid-March compared to what would normally be expected. The report says social distancing practices, high healthcare demand, and public fear might lead to delays in getting life-saving care for COVID-19 and other serious conditions. Those findings add to evidence highlighting how the pandemic may be killing Americans without ever infecting them. Here in Texas, some people laid in front of the governor's mansion in body bags as a sign of protest. They want Governor Abbott to pull back on reopening businesses across the state. The protest was put on by the group Indivisible Austin. They say reopening businesses risks Texans' lives. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey announced he will donate $10 million to a criminal justice advocacy group to help the prisons battle COVID-19. The advocacy group is called the Reform Alliance, which founding members include hip-hop artists Jay-Z and Meek Mills. The group says the money will be used to buy 10 million face masks and other protective equipment for prison workers and inmates. The CDC says airport screenings didn't do much to prevent COVID-19 from spreading in California. State health officials checked up on more than 11,500 travelers who arrived from China and Iran. They only found 3 infected people in that group. The CDC says the program was ineffective because traveler information was incomplete and asymptomatic infections may have been missed. Toyota expects profits this year to plummet almost 80% as the coronavirus pandemic hits global car sales. But the auto giant says sales should slowly recover, and Toyota is expecting operating profit to hit just $4.7 billion for the current fiscal year. That would be the Japanese car maker's smallest profit in 9 years. To read more about these stories, head to KSAT.com.
Sarah, we asked for rain, and boy, did we get it.
We got it. We got it. In fact, there was a tornado watch for a good portion of the KSAT 12 viewing area through about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm happy to report there were no tornadoes, so that's the good thing there. And we did see quite a bit of rainfall. Unfortunately, though, we won't be able to measure how the rain affected the aquifer for a little while. It was down 0.7 of a foot over the past 24 hours, and it actually is tracking to get below 660. So we needed that rain because once we get below 660 for 10 days, that's when we start to enter into stage 1 water restrictions. But boy, did we get the rain today in many places. Take a look at measured rainfall just within the last 24 hours. While we only saw a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch of rain around the airport, you go north and east of San Antonio, 9 inches of rainfall out toward Canyon Lake, almost 5 inches of rain for Bulverde, and the Edwards Aquifer Recharge Zone is right there, so that's good. So hopefully we'll be able to see some decent increase in the aquifer and avoid those stage 1 water restrictions at least for a little while longer. Other locations, New Braunfels got about 2 inches of rain. And looking at the time lapse, you can see that we saw a good mixture of clouds and sun today with some pockets of rainfall out there. 88 was the high temperature, so not too much above the average. And taking a look at the futurecast, we are going to at least start to see a pretty pleasant evening. Now tomorrow, we will have an opportunity for an isolated shower or storm, especially in the afternoon. So we'll keep our eye open for that because, again, with the atmosphere supercharged, any storms that develop could have the potential to become strong or severe. So we'll keep our eye on that. But the chance for rain tomorrow in San Antonio only going to be 20%. So it's not a significant chance for rain. Other than that, it'll be humid and warm. near 87 in downtown San Antonio, elsewhere low to mid 80s. So tomorrow waking up cloudy, 70 degrees in the morning hour, and then we'll be warming up throughout the day, going to carrying a chance for an isolated storm into the afternoon. Southeast winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour, potentially gusting up to 20. And then in our weather setup, you can see all the rain from today pushing on off to the south and to the east. But looking out to the west, we've got another wiggle in the atmosphere. This low pressure system is going to provide energy for the potential for storms, and it looks like we've got a very good shot for more rain as we head into the weekend. A few scattered showers and storms possible on Friday, especially on Saturday, and then again on Sunday. Other than that, just want to highlight again, an isolated storm is possible tomorrow, but it'll mainly be a quiet day and warm. Then we'll be near 90 degrees on Thursday. Keep in mind we have the humidity to deal with too, so that means a heat index value. Then we'll see that chance for a few scattered showers and storms through Sunday. As we head into next week too, another round of scattered showers and storms. So Courtney, May is one of the rainiest months of the year. We usually see more than 4 inches of rain, so this is a fairly normal weather pattern for us. And of course we'll be on the lookout for the potential for strong to severe storms as well.
This is what we were expecting for May, not what we've seen so far.
Right, it's been pretty dry
Yeah.
so far.
All right, thank you so much, Sarah. Over the past 2 weeks, the state has loosened its stay-at-home orders and restrictions. That's expected to have an impact on the amount of COVID-19 cases in Bexar County. RJ Marquez spoke with the UTSA professor responsible for one of the city's many COVID-19 models to look at what those changes mean and how we can possibly avoid a second wave of cases.
Dr. Juan Gutierrez has been working on the COVID-19 models for San Antonio and Bexar County for more than a month. His first set of predictions under the previous stay-at-home orders were on the mark. The models predicted an estimated 1,800 cases by early May. Those numbers are now expected to change with businesses and restaurants reopening.
The number of cases is likely to increase due to our increase in contacts. That will bring together people who are susceptible and people who might be infected.
Under previous restrictions, Bexar County had already reached its peak and flattened the curve. The peak could now shift with new data from the state partially reopening. Gutierrez expects the models on May 15 to reflect the changes and give us a better idea of when a possible second wave will hit.
We could experience it very soon. How big is it going to be, the second wave? We have to wait how people react. How seriously do people take social distancing and wearing face masks and proper sanitation? These very simple measures will allow us to keep this terrible disease at bay.
Social distancing and simply wearing a mask in public are still extremely vital to slowing down the infection rate because asymptomatic people continue to test positive for the virus. Asymptomatic people are now being tested in Bexar County, but it's ultimately a waiting game. Gutierrez said an increase in cases does not necessarily mean we are trending in the wrong direction, just looking at a broader picture.
Surveillance evolves. The results of modeling also evolve. Not necessarily because the disease has changed, just because our observations of the disease have changed.
Gutierrez understands businesses and restaurants have to reopen to help the economy regain its footing and help people put food on the table and pay their bills. But he wants people to keep in mind we are far from moving past COVID-19.
We are still going through it. We have to maintain the protective measures that have made of San Antonio an exception among metropolitan cities in Texas.
For the 9, RJ Marquez.
We'll be back in just 1 minute. Stay with us.
Separating the facts from the fear. It's what we try to do every weeknight, certainly since this coronavirus crisis has begun. And joining us on Tuesdays, as she usually does, Dr. Ruth Bergeron with the Long School of Medicine at UT Health San Antonio, a infectious disease doctor. Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Bergeron. All right, let's get to some of the questions because we have a lot of them tonight that I want to get to. The first one is, why is the death toll from this virus so high in nursing homes, and what can we do about it?
Well, the death toll is high for people that are older. 80% of all the deaths are in people that are over age 64, 65 or older. And that's who's in nursing homes. Also, people in nursing homes, as you know, aren't just older. They frequently have multiple underlying medical conditions, the same medical conditions that make somebody vulnerable. So that is one issue, is who's there, and then how are they arranged within the nursing home. And most nursing homes don't have the luxury of having a private bedroom with a private bath for each individual, and there are frequently roommates and shared facilities, and then the people who take care of them are usually taking care of more than one person, and so caregivers go from room to room, and so you can have spread if the caregivers are not maximally using their PPE and remembering about their hand hygiene. So it's a combination of who's there, the fact that they're vulnerable people, and the way that they're housed very close together, and also the go-betweens of the care providers. That's what makes the setup, unfortunately.
Right, and it's not all that, I mean, obviously they're much different venues, but it's not that much different than the jail, correct? That you've also done a lot of studies at.
Exactly right, and the jail is even more complex because there you don't just have a couple of people as roommates, you have entire pods where people are basically in bunk beds, and it can be pretty hard to spread those apart because some parts of the jail may not be ready to accommodate all of those people, and folks have been working terribly hard at the Bexar County Jail to make room to accommodate folks so you can spread the beds apart and at least give the physical distancing. As you know, other measures have been taken as well.
Yeah. All right. There's been a lot of speculation about the fact we may need to use mail-in ballots, mail-in votes come up certainly in July, maybe by November. So that's this next question. With the state reopening, will it be safe to vote in person during both the July runoff and the November general election?
So I don't think it would be very wise. I vote regularly, and I stand in line with everybody else. And I think that sometimes the lines are long. It can be hot outside, and it's going to be very hard to keep people 6 feet apart. And then you have the fact that the voting booths themselves are high-touch areas. How are you going to handle that? Voters themselves are not necessarily 6 feet apart when they're in the booths. There's a short divider between you and the next person over, but you're certainly not 6 feet apart. So I think that without a major overhaul of the setup, it's going to be very hard to do that safely. And I really think that mail-in voting would be a very appropriate adaptation to this situation. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Great. All right, next question. I was sick for about a week with possible COVID-19 symptoms, before stay-at-home orders began. I have been fine since I got better, but I'm wondering if it would be necessary or beneficial to get an antibody test.
So first of all, let's celebrate the fact that you got better. That's wonderful news. We don't know, however, that you had COVID. You could have had another respiratory virus, and there are a number of them out there that could look like COVID or feel like COVID is described to be. So we don't know, and an antibody could shed some light. The question is which antibody test. There are about 50 of them out there. A lot of them haven't really gone through the rigorous FDA approval process for emergency use authorization, but there are some that are better than others. And we are getting some really good ones coming to San Antonio in the not too distant future. And that would be of interest. But let me just say this. Let's say you go get one of those really good antibody tests and it's positive. Now, could I tell you you're free to go about your business, throw away your mask, and act like COVID never happened? That would be premature because we don't have enough information yet about how high your antibody titer has to be, which kind of antibodies are protective, and very importantly, how long is that antibody protection going to last? And we would hope, based on what we know from SARS, that your antibodies would last 2 to 3 years, carry you through to when we have a vaccine, but we can't prove it. So what would it mean for you? If you had a really high antibody titer, maybe you could be a convalescent plasma donor. that would be useful. And it might give you some reassurance if you're someone who's feeling really anxious about going about your business and working in the world. Maybe you'd feel better to know that you had antibodies, but nobody, not Dr. Fauci, could come to you and say, you're good to go, you're certified immune to COVID. We will know that sort of thing in the future. How soon, I don't know, but certainly in the next couple of years, we're going to know this. But right now, today, we don't know it yet.
Right. There's just so many questions about this virus that we don't know right now. We seem to be learning more, day by day, hour by hour. And one of the big questions that certainly the national media has talked a lot about is the effect on young children, some of the inflammatory illnesses that we've seen, similar to Kawasaki. Your thoughts on what we've seen so far and how concerned people should be about that?
Well, it's interesting and concerning at the same time. There are reports now of 70 to 100 cases in New York alone, and then additional cases in some other states. I think 50 cases in Europe of something that's being called for the time being pediatric multisystem inflammatory syndrome. And this is a syndrome that comes on with a high fever, rash, red eyes, possibly redness in the mouth and the throat, and then a surge of inflammation throughout the body. Some people have gotten quite sick, needed to be on a ventilator, and inflammation of the arteries in the heart. And so this resembles in some ways a disease called Kawasaki's, which we've been puzzled about for decades. We've been hunting for the cause of Kawasaki's disease for many, many years. They're not exactly the same, but this syndrome seems to be associated with COVID, and it seems to resemble Kawasaki's, but they are two different entities. What does it mean for us? First of all, I think people need to recognize that children are not immune from getting very sick with COVID. However, this is rare, so people shouldn't be terrified. But if your child develops a fever, abdominal pains, some GI symptoms, gastrointestinal symptoms, you shouldn't blow those off as being just some pediatric illness that's going to go away. If it's a high fever, if it lasts for more than a day, you should be calling your pediatrician. I know folks have been wanting to stay home and not rush to the hospital, not call the doctor because of COVID, but these are some symptoms that should make parents pause and take seriously and seek medical advice, because it could be something more serious, but not common. Serious, but uncommon.
Right, not that common. And so I always like to give you the last word, and I want to do it tonight. What is on your mind? What should our viewers know tonight? So,
we've gotten to where I would say comfortably 3 out of our 4 progress indicators are met. We're there with the contact tracing, the reduction in cases, hospitals aren't stressed. And very soon, we're going to meet the metric of being able to test 3,000 people a day. We're pretty close to it, I think, even by the end of this week. So that's happy news. But that doesn't mean everything's over and you go back to life as normal. You have to continue to be careful. And as places of worship are now being opened up, I want people to be especially thoughtful about who it is that we're trying to protect. And the elderly, I think, need to be very foremost in our minds. People that are over the age of 65, wear your mask for them. Think carefully about how you can protect these people. Are you able to go grocery shopping? That's one of the reasons that older folks leave their homes right now. I speak to patients, and I know that a lot of them are being very careful in every way, but they still leave their homes to go out and go grocery shopping. So let's use our asymptomatic testing opportunity wisely and not just go get tested for the fun of it, but think about who should be getting tested. And people who are medically vulnerable, older people, and most especially those who interact on a regular basis with older people should be getting tested so that they can protect others.
Yeah, love it. Dr. Ruth Berggren, thank you for your time.
Happy to be here.
All right, we'll be right back.
young children in Wilson County starved and neglected in a case so disturbing we've had to leave out many of the details. We brought you the devastating story on Friday, yet still no one has been arrested and charged in the case. Just a half hour ago, the Wilson County Sheriff told me charges could come as early as tomorrow. He also confirmed today the children's grandmother, who lived in the home with them, was arrested, but just on a traffic violation. She has not been charged in connection with the abuse case. I also spoke to a child advocate and former investigator who is stunned by that news.
The children are 1, 2, and 4 years old, found last week severely malnourished and covered in feces. The children were living with their maternal grandmother in this house off State Highway 123 in Stockdale, reportedly filled with trash, feces, urine, and leftover food. Another child in the home who'd witnessed the abuse called 911.
It was heartbreaking, and it was definitely one of the worst cases that we've heard about.
Sandra Adjacent is a former child abuse investigator and now runs True Light 127 Ministries, which operates a foster care village and offers certification and support to foster parents.
What about the fact that no one's been arrested and charged with this specific case?
When I heard that, I was devastated. I don't see how anyone can starve kids and not have to reap the consequences of that. And I say that as a professional who's done investigations.
She says this case already has a plethora of evidence.
Kids have been talked to, doctors have been talked to. So I would think at this point that they would have enough to arrest somebody. I mean, it's obvious that it was somebody who lived in the home because it's a starvation case. You know, physical abuse and things could be trickier to prove, but not a starvation case.
Tonight, Wilson County Sheriff Joe Tackett confirmed to KSAT the grandmother, Samantha Foster, was arrested on a traffic violation, but investigators are still talking with doctors at the hospital and charges may come as soon as tomorrow. We reported yesterday the 4-year-old has already been released from the hospital. As for the 2 youngest,
I've heard through the fostering network out there that these kids are starting to come out of the hospital, that, you know, they are going home to foster homes. And I am so excited to know that they are improving to that point.
The foster families caring for these children getting much needed support from the community as they navigate a difficult recovery from starvation.
You have to reteach them how to use their voice to eat. And they also have to learn the basic things of chewing, swallowing, what's too hot for their mouth, what's too cold for their mouth.
Those tasks alongside the love and care these children deserved from the beginning.
During the stay-home orders, child abuse calls dropped, a concerning trend for advocates who know children were stuck inside unsafe homes. But with relaxed regulations, calls are starting to come back in, and foster parents are needed now more than ever. If you want to learn about fostering, we have a link on our website, KSAT.com. Well, the coronavirus pandemic is hitting people's wallets hard, and even then, scammers are still working to steal your hard-earned money. Digital journalist Ivan Herrera breaks down some of the scams seen through this pandemic and how you can report them on tonight's Money It's Personal.
Scammers won't let a worldwide pandemic stop them from working their schemes. So, the Federal Trade Commission is letting the public know about some COVID-19 scams making the rounds. The commission has sent letters to scammers pushing coronavirus treatments and cures, many of which were reported by the public. The FTC says these sellers peddled everything from teas to essential oils to high doses of vitamin C, all with no evidence that they work against the virus. Another type of scam the FTC is warning about includes fake COVID-19 testing sites. The commission says these sites can look like the real deal, but watch out, because these scammers are taking people's personal information, such as social security numbers, credit card numbers, and other health information. If you think you should get tested, you can do a few things. Ask your doctor about testing, call 311 to find a testing site near you, or visit a Metro Health testing site. The FTC says this next scam to look out for may be on your phone. If you get text messages claiming to be related to the government's monetary help for people affected by the coronavirus, don't click on any links. They could expose your device to malware or get your phone number added to lists that are then sold to other scammers. And delete those messages immediately. If you have questions about the federal stimulus payment, visit irs.gov/coronavirus. The FTC says scammers are also targeting generous people by setting up fake charities or pretending to be existing ones. So, how can you make sure your donation goes to the right place? Search online for the charity's name and the words scam or fraud. Review the charity's ratings, and finally, check the charity's registration status with your local charity regulator to see if it is registered to take donations in your area. For the 9, Ivan Herrera.
We have a list of those scams and how you can report them on our website right now. Just head to ksat.com/news at 9. And if you have any money questions you'd like for us to answer, you can find information on how to send them in at the bottom of that article. Here's tonight's top stories. House Democrats unveiled a new COVID-19 stimulus package today, which would be the largest relief package in history, with a price tag expected to be more than $3 trillion. The bill could change substantially before it comes to a vote expected Friday. Democratic sponsors are calling it the HEROES Act, but it's likely to face opposition from the Republican-controlled Senate. The GOP opposes the bill's huge cost and its call for increased crisis funding to state and local governments. Walmart and Sam's Club employees are getting another round of cash bonuses next month. The total is worth more than $390 million to reward hourly employees for keeping up with the demand due to the coronavirus pandemic. $300 for full-time workers and $150 for part-time, hourly, and temporary associates. The extra bonus for working through the pandemic applies to those who work in stores, clubs, supply chain facilities, and offices. And with more elective surgeries picking up, the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center says the need for blood donations is increasing by the day. Over the last week, the center has seen a 40% increase in demand for blood from hospitals across the city. The center says it's not just important to schedule an appointment to donate, but to stick to the appointment as well. Only 65% of appointments are showing up, which is part of the reason why the supply is so low.
Hey, what's up guys? Time to check out some stories that are trending tonight on KSAT.com. And let's start with some very exciting news. The Thunderbirds have released their path of their flight across San Antonio. So they were scheduled to fly earlier today. That was going to be like in the afternoon, but of course the inclement weather kind of pushed that back to tomorrow. So we are very excited about this because we now know the flight path. They're going to start in Helotes and then kind of work their way around the San Antonio area. So it's going to be pretty cool. They're going to go through downtown. They will go through every part of the city. So you will definitely get an opportunity to get to see them fly over the city of San Antonio tomorrow. Of course, we've seen the Blue Angels, that's the Navy's squadron, fly over a couple of Texas cities already. So we're going to get to see the Thunderbirds here, and Austin's going to get to see them as well. So pretty cool stuff. Check out that flight path information on KSAT.com. All right, pretty interesting story here. It's been trending throughout the country. Disney is fast-tracking Hamilton, and that's going to be on Disney+. So that's going to come out on July 4th. Of course, Hamilton, the hit Broadway musical. There was a lot of buzz about it. It was sold out forever on Broadway. So now we're going to get to experience that from our own living room. Apparently it's going to be a heck of an experience. They're going to have some really cool angles and some different shots. So it's really going to take you into the theater. There's a lot of excitement about that. And again, that's going to show up earlier on, around July 4th on Disney+, so around Independence Day weekend. So make sure you guys check that out, and if you want more information on that story, head over to KSAT.com. All right, last story of our trending segment. We've seen a lot of these like news about bees, bugs, slugs, and everything in between. We have another bee story here. Fortunately, it's not the murder hornet. These bees apparently are not aggressive, but still, pretty interesting story. A bee swarm showed up in a San Antonio area backyard and then just kind of disappeared. So what happened was that this resident in Live Oak posted a picture of this like massive bee swarm that showed up under her water fountain in her backyard. So obviously she was kind of freaked out. She was wondering what was going on with this bee swarm. Apparently it was really not that much of an issue. These bees were just looking for a different place to go maybe create a hive. And apparently they do this when they just need to get some rest. So if they're looking for a different place to live or a different place to go start out their hive, they just kind of go hang out in these places for a few hours. That was the case here. The swarm took off within an hour or 2 hours of them showing up. So if you want more information on this story, head over to KSAT.com. Pretty interesting stuff here. Apparently, you don't mess with bees if you see them flying in and out of like a tree trunk or something like that, but when they're in this type of swarm, they're actually not very aggressive. Some very interesting bee information for your Tuesday night. So if you want to check this out, head over to KSAT.com, and we have everything else that you'll need. You guys have a great night. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching the news at 9. Take care of yourself, take care of others, and watch Night Beat. It starts at 10.